You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always, my good friend.
Oh wait, I thought I was listening for Jay.
Yeah, I know.
He's not here?
He's not.
All right, well, this is AK Mike in Texas.
There you go. But actually, you're in Arizona, so.
Yeah, from Texas.
Yeah,
I don't
from
know.
Texas.
You know, whatever.
Yep, we are in Mesa, Arizona at the Arizona Electric Festival. It's an event we come to every year, and unfortunately, Jay had some prior engagements and couldn't make it out this year, and then the weather kind of caught him too. So
yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he had a tree going down or something.
Yeah, I think so. He parked his trailer in a tree. So we're here at the field, and we have obviously it's day one, and we've got Shannon Gallagher with us. Welcome to the podcast, Shannon.
Well, thank you as always. Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's exciting. We've already started. We had our pilot meeting, and everybody's kind of getting their planes. It's a little windy. You can probably hear that in the microphone, but a little bit of wind, but not too bad. I've flown today, and we've had some other pilots.
At least it's going mostly down the runway.
Yeah, it's
mostly
right down the runway.
Yeah,
right
so.
down the runway. So
Earlier, it was kind of coming perpendicular, but
yeah,
now it's kind of going right down the
that's
runway.
true.
It's kind of not an AEF without the little wind on a Friday morning.
That's,
That's
true. Yeah, it is a little chilly today. I actually had to go put pants on. Normally I'm wearing
One
shorts.
pair he has.
He wasn't naked, folks, just to be
They
clear.
stand up by
He had
themselves.
shorts on, yeah.
I did have shorts on.
Yeah, it's family friendly.
I own one pair of
Podcast.
jeans, and I actually had to bring them this year. So normally I'm in shorts, but we are excited. We've got some people here that bringing out some new product. We've got vendors out. We've got pilots showing up. So we're going to turn this over to Shannon and kind of run us through what you got planned today and who all's here.
Well,
vendors. And
first things first.
Oh, that's true.
I really miss the fact that Jay's not here, so
Yeah.
we've come up with a medley
There you go.
of songs just for Jay.
Okay.
So gentlemen, join in when you're when you're supposed to. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The eyes of Texas are upon you. We miss you, Jay.
The live long day.
We miss
Yeah.
you, Jay.
That's
I know,
it.
Jay
All
is
right.
pretty much stuck in Texas, I think.
Yeah, but I just want to acknowledge we.
No,
really
that's
miss
good.
Jay,
That's
so
good.
There we go. All right, so
we might get some record contracts out of that.
This is
you
true.
never
We
know.
might.
Hey,
You never
man,
know.
Nashville's calling. I hear it already. Where we're going. So,
That's funny.
You know, I'm always excited about this, but you guys know that. But
Absolutely.
this year, I just got a renewed,
Vigor?
vigor. There you perfect word.
That is a great word.
Oh my gosh, I love that word. I'm going to make sure I use that.
Well, you were
every
showing
day.
it, so I had to
All
say
right.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
He is. He's
For
all
those
excited.
listeners who can't see anything, because this is a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we've got one of the big things. We've got Horizon Hobby out here. They're debuting the T28. It actually flew last weekend, but here at AEF, still cool to have the new T28 back out and flying, and all their great planes and pilots.
Yep.
We also have Banana Hobby is debuting the flying public debut of the B-1 bomber.
Very
From
exciting.
X-Fly, and beautiful airplane from what I've seen. I haven't even seen it much yet because they're still kind of keeping it under wraps. But,
They are.
It's pretty cool just to have them come out. And the guys from Utah, Jeremy and his son Kyler and Justin, they came down. And we have pilots from all over the country for this event this year. So we've got some from New Mexico, we got California, we got back east. The list goes on. So it's glad to. As far as international, we don't have any international other than our club members that are snowbirds from Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, so that's about the most foreign that we have.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to call it that.
They're neighbors,
Yeah.
really.
Got FrSky. We're
We're gonna talk to Steve later.
Yeah, talk
Yeah.
to Steve later. He's a good guy. I actually started using one of their radios. I don't like to. I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just trying something different, and so far I like it. It's kind of fun to try something different and get some different features, things like that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But just talking to people, I wanted people to bring stuff out that was unique. Definitely the B1 falls under that category. Stuff that maybe they flew in the past, or we were going to have some others planes debut, but just things didn't always work out. But I think just the level of pre-reg was really brisk this year, which was
Good.
great. We already got a bunch of new people show up hadn't pre-registered already, so we're looking really, really good. Our vendors are showing up. We got new foods in last year. And, just lots of new things going on. So I'm really, really excited. And just glad we're at it now. We got planes in the air.
I'm
There
just
you
happy
go.
to be here myself.
Yeah,
you know,
you
I
almost
almost
got
didn't.
stuck, too.
I almost got stuck in Texas.
Yep, and I went and picked you up at the airport.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That was
so much.
We had a good drive.
Yeah, we
out
did.
here.
We
Yeah,
did.
good
We
conversation.
did appreciate that because I kind of got stuck. I could.
Well, the plan was to drive the RV and me to haul some planes and stuff like that in a
Right.
different car.
Right.
But because he came out after, so we couldn't do that.
That's all good. That's why.
But it worked out though.
Yep.
So
One
now
big
you're
happy
here,
family.
and
Yep.
now we got a beautiful day. I
Yep,
mean,
it's pretty.
despite the wind, it is a pretty day, and I think James was saying that he stepped into the sun. There was about a 10-degree difference. Just in the sun. So we are under the awning. It's a little chilly, but once you get out to the flight line and you get to fly. But we've got a lot of new airplanes. I'm really excited to see some of these T-7As fly. They've got quite the fleet here. That's the new trainer from the U.S. Air Force that Banana Hobbies has made.
I posted a video of Jeremy and Kyler,
flying.
father and son, flying them together.
Yeah.
And I mean, that Kyler, man, he can fly.
Yeah,
he
he
can. He's a good little.
He's
a
really
good kid.
He's a good guy,
So.
and so it's just exciting to see that. Like that father son stuff. I just love it.
You know,
Yeah.
Bob had some kind of jet contraption over there. I saw.
He did.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll have to get a photo of that for the podcast. But
the
yeah,
Jetster?
Jetster. Yeah,
Yeah.
he put that's some part of
Like a 70 or something jet engine on top of a glow.
like
I guess it
yeah.
was a glow plane
It
before.
was a glow.
Yeah,
plane.
the original. That was one of the original ducted fan planes. Like
Right.
you would go out and buy just to get at least a jet of some kind back
Yeah.
in the day. And you had little
and I've seen him
turbacks
fly
or
it too. It's nice. It flies
Craft. I think it was a Craft 45 or
Yeah.
or something on it. I remember I had an A4 like that, early model ducted fan. I was like, wow. And now what we're flying today is night and day. It's
That's
amazing.
crazy. Wow, there's a lot of new technology coming out too. I know FrSky has new radios out that you said you've
Yeah,
picked
so
one up.
they came out to the Jet Rally and had a little booth and started showing things. And I'm not one to jump in and buy something, but I started playing with it and felt it and reading it. I'm like, this might actually serve my needs, for the hobby. I love, I've used every manufacturer of radio, you name it. Some more than others, just because of simplicity. We've got all the stuff that just plug and play and all that. But they've got some of that compatibility built into their systems. I'll let Steve talk all about that stuff. But
Yeah, sure.
it took me a little. The learning curve was unique.
Yeah,
I was actually a little frustrated, but it was more me than the product.
right.
So I think once I backed off and said, let's not go with what let's go with what There's some amazing videos on how to set up these things. There's a guy from England that just United Kingdom. I forget which. Maybe he's going to Scotland or who knows.
Yeah,
I think
right.
somebody. I don't want
Somewhere
to
there,
offend
right,
him
right.
if he hears this.
Yeah.
But the videos they've got to set these up and just once you get the hang of it, it really makes sense.
Right.
And I just tapped the very beginning of what they can do. So I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited. Really excited.
Awesome. Well, very cool. It looks like we're getting people lined up to go fly, or hopefully, yep. Barrett's here at New Stuff. We had an airplane that didn't make it, though, didn't we?
Yeah, so Barrett's had a Concorde.
Yep.
And we've had many Concordes here over the years. Different people have made Concordes. Clark most commonly, but Barrett and I've been working very closely with Barrett on it. I helped set up the power system and consulted on some things, and we had her for a test a few weeks ago. Didn't go quite as well. Made some changes, and yesterday's the landing gear just failed. Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, just for the way the plane's designed, the landing gear just didn't work. So he ordered some different ones, but just not in time for the event. So hopefully we'll have it, at least for next year or for another future event here at the field, because
Very cool.
I'd love all the stuff that Barrett, because he makes everything.
Yeah, he makes some pretty cool stuff.
He really does.
He's one of my favorite builders.
Yeah, I mean, and he continues to get better.
Yeah.
Some people they'll build something and they'll keep building it the same way, but he always improves.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
And and he gets a picture or he gets a 3 view and he just goes to town with foam and cardboard and
Crazy.
And
that's the other thing too. The way he uses materials is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to his shop many times, and he's very fortunate in the what he has access to the building space. They've got these giant tables. Usually they do framing,
right,
artwork and pictures, and they're in there doing priceless pieces of artwork, and then Barrett's doing his priceless pieces of artwork. If you think about it, it's really I put him in the same thing, and he's got all kinds of things he started, and I'll get to that, or I'll get to this, but he had another plane ready to go. He's like, okay, I'll bring this plane out, and it'll fill the gap. So it's just exciting. His enthusiasm is just it's a breath of fresh air sometimes.
Sure.
Sometimes I love Barrett to death. Sometimes he's a little intense. And I got to back him down a little bit. Okay, it's okay. We're here to have fun. It's not. We're not in business. We're just having fun.
Yeah,
exactly. Love him to death. So
very cool. I think that's intensity. That intensity is what I like about him. I mean, really, the guy's just got some passion for.
Yep, he's flying right now.
Yeah, he's flying right now.
Yeah, he's flying his B. Is it the B-18 or B-10? B-10. B-10. Yeah, that's right. I always forget which one.
I like the color scheme too.
Yeah, the gold and blue. It's very navy-ish. So, well, let's head out to the flight line and see if we can't get our airplanes up in the air. But we're gonna make it through the Friday as the first day. We'll check back with Shannon towards the end of this. But we're looking forward to all the really cool events. Little gaggles and the noon show tomorrow and all that kind of thing. But today we're gonna go out and see if we can't get some flights in while nobody's on.
Yeah,
the
flight.
I'm gonna fly too.
Looking forward to it. Oh, look, the wind's coming up.
Yeah, there
we
go.
Fly your
time to go
L-39,
fly.
Mike. Let me fly your L-39, Mike.
Right.
Oh, what's wrong with a little wind?
I know, nothing wrong with it. Makes you a better pilot.
Right.
So.
It's almost like Groundhog Day. Oh, it's just a couple of flakes.
Exactly, just a couple. That's funny. All right, well we'll talk to you again. Well, everybody, we're back at the Arizona Electric Festival. Michael with the Park Flyer Podcast, and we have a special guest today, and it is Steve Schlesinger from FrSky.
That's right.
I was hoping you're going to murder that.
Like
no, that's a hard.
Right?
Yeah, no, you said it right.
Name,
you said it right, but
technically we're FrSky, but yeah.
FrSky?
Yeah, it's actually what the name spells out. It came from the 2010 era where Twitter was TWTR. They left out the vowels.
Oh, well, there you go. See, I was worried about that because when I called it FrSky, I always felt like somebody was like,
"Am I doing it wrong?"
FrSky?
Yeah,
I was
doing it wrong.
When I call someone at a hobby store and I say, "This is Steve with FrSky," they say, "Who?" I said, "Steve with FrSky."
Yeah.
FrSky.
Yeah.
Why are you adding E's, Steve? Why do you need to do that?
We're so literal. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you on the podcast.
Thanks
we
for
understand.
having me.
Yeah, not a problem. We understand that you guys have been developing some new radios, and I've taken a look at some of them. And why don't you kind of take us through some of the new additions that you have there?
Okay. Well, I mean, traditionally, FrSky or FrSky, however we like to pronounce it.
We could do FrSky. I'm good with that.
We can do whatever you want.
Right.
Steve. This is your thing.
We started out as a radio company that specialized in fixed wing. And so back around 2010, we had the add-on modules that you put in the back of your JR bays and the JR Spectrum transmitters and, everything, or even Futaba. And, you would have the opportunity to work with our transmit module and our receiver, right? And then we came out with our own radio known as the X9D, and it was certainly not too long later it became the X9D Plus.
Yes.
And that was the first. We started out with as an 8-channel transmission system at ACCST. Then quickly we evolved to 16 channels, so it's called the D16 protocol. Mm-hmm. ACCST, and that was a long time ago, right? And that was around the time that drones were taking off. Mm-hmm. And so we had a really inexpensive solution for people who are flying drones that had S-Bus 16 channels.
Yes.
So for years, we were known as the drone company. And, and the X9D and X9D Plus, the silver-looking one, was known as the quintessential drone radio. Everyone who was anybody owned that radio back then.
Yeah, but I'm not a drone guy, so
right.
I'm like an oddball.
Well,
Mike can admit to that. I mean,
I can vouch for
you're
it.
one of the 3% that
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
that bought our transmitters and took them to the flying field to fly planes with them, because OpenTX, beautiful system. We actually paid somebody starting around 2015. We had helped fund the project, OpenTX project, and we had a full-time developer working on it. And then what he finally said was, we're looking at making our own closed protocol system, the closed source system. And he said, well, OpenTX is good, but you really, if you want to do this right, because you're coming out with a new line of transmitters are using this STM H series. It's actually a microcontroller, right? And because of that, you're going to need to have everything reprogrammed. OpenTX will not just pick up and move over to it. You have to start from scratch.
Wow.
Why don't we start from scratch, from the ground up, and build it? And let's build it right. Let's take out all the things that make it difficult and confusing, all the reasons why the people at the flying fields don't particularly enjoy OpenTX. Let's get rid of that. Let's make it something that people actually can work with at the flying field. If you want to fix something, you don't need to be hooked up to a PC. You can stand there at the flying field. You can change your rates. You can change your expo. You can reverse channels. Everything is straightforward and simple. Make a touchscreen. Make it powerful. And that's what we did.
Yeah, good. I played around with that was the what's the name of it?
Ethos.
Ethos. Yeah, thank you. I played with that a little bit, and I liked it. It's got a nice feel to it. There's if you know how to use a game controller, you can use this thing.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit like that.
Right? It's got a D-pad on it. It's got a little
D-pad,
wheel, and
yeah.
it's got buttons, and that's kind of fun. As a guy who flies, one of the things that it has on the back, there are push buttons on the back that you can program. So, like maybe you're going to do a call out for altitude or some other signal or something. It's easy. You don't have to move your thumbs or anything. You can fly and just use your hands that you would hold it with and touch the button.
That's amazing.
And that's kind of nice, yeah.
The main thing about the radio, though, is that it's one of the main selling points is that I'm talking about, before OpenTX, just the 2.4 gigahertz transmit modules back in the old days. Back then, the radio spectrum was not as busy as it is now.
That's true.
Gotten to be the point where every field has that one dead zone. They call it the Bermuda Triangle. You fly over this at the wrong time, your plane goes down. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's because 2.4 gigahertz is a beautiful spectrum, and it works well 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time. But that 1/10 of 1%, you hit a problem. You fly over the wrong place, the wrong time, and your plane goes down.
Okay.
And, I've had more people come to me and they're like, I love your transmitters, but I don't want to redo my whole I don't want to have to go buy all new receivers and everything else.
Right.
And then they crash a plane and they're like, you know what, I'm doing it. And it's like, and I swear to God, last time I was here in Arizona, I sold a transmitter to somebody who wanted a specific color. We didn't have it with me. I said, I'll mail it to you next week. So between the time I said bye to him, but before he left, he crashed a jet in the field out here. He lost radio signal, down it went. And so these things, everywhere I go, is always somewhere, wrong place, wrong time, Bermuda Triangle. And that's why ours has not only 2.4 gigahertz, but also 900 megahertz, and they work simultaneously.
Well, that's cool. Dual band.
Dual band, right. So it's a dual band transmit and receiver. The receivers have the dual band built into them. So what happens is if for whatever reason, if 2.4 gigahertz fails on you, 900 megahertz says, I've got this. And it might even be for a few seconds. The beautiful thing about 2.4 gigahertz is that it is something that you can have hundreds of people flying at 2.4 gigahertz. Right. But for that few seconds, it's make or break it. Instead of going into fail-safe, what it does is says, I'm taking over, and I'll be out of the zone. If you'll be out of the zone for a few seconds, but you'll be right back in the zone at 2.4 gigahertz, and it's beautiful.
Back over.
Yeah, and then you'll be with everyone else. 900 megahertz, you can't fly more than 6 or 10 people at a time.
Right. Yeah, you don't have bandwidth.
You don't have the bandwidth for it.
Yeah.
2.4 has plenty of bandwidth for
right.
it.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
just a backup though, right? I mean, it's just in
Yeah,
case
it's
you
not
lose
the main.
signal.
Yeah, so the idea is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea is that once you lose 2.4 and you're in 900, it's enough to keep the plane under control and not lose surface control.
Right.
And so even though you don't have really the bandwidth to issue a ton of commands, it doesn't matter because it's going to keep it flying for
Right.
however many seconds, milliseconds, whatever it is, till it gets back into band.
Right. And that the beautiful thing about it is a lot of times you won't even notice that you're out of it.
Right.
You'll get a warning from your radio that said low VFR warning, when it means valid frame rates. It means it's losing packets.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
But you will keep flying, and what you can do is if you have telemetry logging, like the radio transmitters we have, I have demo models set up so it has telemetry logging. You can go back later on and you can say, oh my gosh, I lost 2.4 gigahertz band right here.
Yeah.
900 megahertz took over here. I was fine. I didn't lose any packets.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool too. That was another feature I really liked is the logging. And can you replay back on the radio itself, or do you have to take it to a PC?
It's a CSV file, so you can take it into a spreadsheet. We're going to get it. We're working on it. And the whole thing is that Ethos has been in development now since around 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we were able to, it's like every month we're updating it. And it's, I know it sounds strange because, most of the time people, people wonder why I take so much time setting the transmitters up for people. Because I know that 60% of the people who buy these transmitters are never going to update their transmitter. But I want it to be the latest and the greatest and the best it could possibly be when they get it. But if you do, and I'm now getting people who normally don't do that, who will update the transmitters now. If you do that, it's like every month it gets better and better. There's new features to it. And there's some major updates coming before summertime on Ethos.
Cool.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's really going to be a very compelling system.
What does something like that go for retail?
Retail of the transmitter?
Uh-huh.
Transmitter, and this is the thing that the fun I love having with people, and then I never get tired of it because they come in, and I show them the transmitter. I said, it's 24 channels, it's dual band, and I say that company we can't mention that starts with an S has a X20 that's about 1,700 to 2,000 depending how you get it. That's a 20 channel transmitter. The other company we can't mention that starts with a J has one that's 24 channels like ours that also can do dual band as well if you happen to buy the second receiver. That starts off at $2,400. I asked them, how much do you think this transmitter is? And they're like, oh, I don't want to say, because this is the point where they realize I'm going to lose interest because you're going to tell me a price that's $1,500 or $1,800. And I asked them, if it's less than $1,000, would this be interesting? Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Okay, because it's $459 or $479 for the X20S, right?
That's pretty great.
And then we actually have the X18. Just a vanilla X18 is $279.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
I think I paid something like that for my X9D when I bought it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's very reasonable
It is very reasonable.
for what you get.
Our 6-channel dual band receivers are $40. 10 channels are $60. Yeah.
For dual band?
For dual band, yes.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
And that's got the multi-module in it too, or those are the ones don't?
That's our receivers, right?
Oh, the receivers, I said. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said transmitter. I thought you had a smaller transmitter.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, right. No, I don't care about the size of the
Single
physical.
stick.
But even so, that's amazing. It's
Yeah, it
still,
is amazing.
Yeah, so you got a 6-channel dual band receiver that costs $40.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And the 10 channel is $60. 18 channel is $99.
Uh-huh.
And that has actually XT30 connectors on it, so you can power your servos from it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then we're coming out with that one. It's going to be called the TD-SR18. S stands for stabilization.
Uh-huh.
That one's going to be coming out here in a couple months, and that one's going to have a really high-end stabilization system. $145 for that one.
Wow. I just was looking
guys
at
are doing
some-
it.
That's it. That's
Okay,
amazing.
good. That's cool.
I know Steve and I were talking about earlier that one of the things that I noticed on the newer radios versus the old radios that the one that you originally had, the gimbals felt loose to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to flying with.
Yeah,
with
I didn't have the updated one.
Right,
Yeah.
and anyway, you were saying that they were 10 ball bearing
Right, CNC gimbals.
or CNC. gimbals.
Yeah, 10 ball bearing CNC gimbals. When you the prices I was quoting you for the 459, 479, those are both S transmitters. The red one is 479. The black and blue ones are 459. And when they have S on them, that means it's a 10-ball bearing CNC gimbal, and it just feels amazing. Occasionally, people will go in and they'll buy some even stiffer springs so they can get it even tighter. But the ones that are stock are just fine. Yeah.
Well, it was amazing. Just the feel of the radio. It's got some weight to it, which that's another thing I noticed, that this one has a little more weight.
And that's the first thing
you like that, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Well, the other one just felt.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. It's like you almost want to add weight to it just to have some girth.
Yeah, because I'm used to having a radio. I mean, I've flown all those models you mentioned, and most of them have a little bit of a feel to them. And the first FrSky that I actually flew at the park with the guys that I normally fly with, he handed me one, and the two complaints that I had was the gimbals were kind of just. It never really felt like there was a centering on them. They were just like, whoa, they're loose. And then the way that you had to program everything.
Yeah, OpenTX.
It was like the OpenTX to me, I just was like, my brain would just turn to mush. And,
right.
Mike gets into that kind of thing. I'm like, I just want to turn the radio on and just my model come back. And the guy that I was flying for, he was building stuff fairly new. He bought an inexpensive radio. He always had the trims like whacked out beyond belief. So I'd be like, "Where's the center trim?" It's like he could hold the thing for like 5 minutes and it just goes and I'm like, "Does that thing ever stop?" I mean, it just trims forever, And he'd just hold it and you'd just see the airplane do these funky things, and I was always like, "Okay, stop. Put it back to 0 so I can start from scratch." But I was really impressed. I was talking to Ben, I think your tech guy over there,
yes.
and he, he's got they've got that nice big radio like a.
The XE, right?
Yeah, that thing is like a big tray radio.
The Tandem XE, right?
The Tandem XE is more for people who do construction equipment, mostly sold in Europe.
Oh, okay.
So the people who are into they're not RC cars. These are actual, like, real construction equipment that are radio controlled, or the trucks. Yeah. Semi trucks, and then they need all the switches and the buttons and the bells.
Gotcha.
But you can also fly with it too. We have one guy who's flying with it. Not really super well set up for flying, but that's more of like it's.
I was pretty impressed. It's almost the same size as this console that I have right here. I was like, I wanted to go like.
You have to wear a strap.
Holding it's kind of like troublesome. You can't even reach the gimbals. But definitely a pinch flyer in a tray. So
there's one thing I could get across is like, no, these new radios are not running OpenTX. The way I explain OpenTX to people, I said, if I take 100 OpenTX radios and hand them out to everyone who shows up here and say, listen, I'll let you keep this radio if you get it flying within 6 months.
Right.
97 will come back to me.
Yeah,
that's the statistic.
I get it.
Yeah, people will be like, I can't figure this out. I don't want to figure it out. You can have it back.
Right.
It is not a toaster.
It's not a toaster.
Yeah.
It's not.
You have to be very intelligent in order to know how to fly with OpenTX.
Yeah.
But
that's changed now, right?
It's the ethos. Well, you also have to be. This is for people who want to fly. This is not for people who want to sit there and computer program.
Right.
And, when people said they fly with OpenTX and they come up and they identify themselves in the field, I ask them, what kind of degree do you have? Is it electrical engineering, mechanical engineering?
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
yes.
No doubt.
Yeah, very. Yeah, and then for everyone else, we sell these transmitters to people who are, in their 70s, sometimes in their 80s, and they can figure it out. And that's the main thing. Is like, I don't want to sell you something that you can put in the corner and never use.
Right.
And so that is when I come back to the field after a few months, like I'm coming back here today, and I'm hearing people say, I bought this transmitter, I'm using it. It took me a little while to figure out how to use it, but now I love it and I can't live without it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It truly is amazing. You've come a long way as far as kind of. I kind of understand what you're saying earlier about it being the drone, kind of the drone transmitter, because the drone guys wanted all of the little OpenTX, finite adjustments when you're flying a quad. You need all that. You need to be able to make little twerky adjustments where the CDF that's we're sitting in front of, there's no major adjustments to that. If I can get one click here, one click there, and then I'm good. I never have to change anything else.
The people who fly drones, typically what they do is they need 4 outputs and switch assignments. Right. And that's the main thing they do. 4 outputs channels for your motors, and switch assignments for whatever.
Right.
Everything else is handled in either Betaflight or iNav.
That's true.
Gotcha.
And so that all the adjustments are things that they do on their PC anyways.
Right.
So that's kind of how that works. But when you're at the flying field, if you want to make an adjustment, you don't want to wait till you have to go home and make an adjustment. You want to do it at the field, and that's why this radio system makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
And they're good. They're good for like every part of the RC, aircraft world, right? I mean, I can fly turbines, I can fly helicopters,
right?
We can fly 3D, EDF.
Turbine jets are the one market I've been focusing on the most, simply because I figured if the turbine jet pilots get it and like it, then they also fly scale, so they're flying scale. And typically what happens is we sell one transmitter to one guy buys one at the field. Next thing you know, there's two other guys who are looking for that transmitter, and they're buying them as well. It's a gradual takeover at the field. Yeah. And that's, little by little. It's been, realistically, I'd say that Ethos hit a critical mass about middle of summer, about summer last year, was really where it was something like, yes, this is now viable. Plus, you can put on a multi-protocol module in the back of it, and you can work with a variety of things, including Spectrum. So you can bind this to a Spectrum receiver.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. That's the cool part. Is that module separate? You said?
The module is separate. It's $40.
Okay.
It's called a multi-protocol module.
Yep.
And it works with our transmitters. I always suggest to people, for small planes, little park flyers, whatever, Spectrum's fine.
Yep.
When you want to start flying turbine jets, please use one of our receivers, because it is
the dual band part alone, in my mind, makes it a really viable choice.
Right.
I know guys that do two receivers or whatever, and they do multi-binding or whatever, and that can work too. But I feel like that it's fraught with a little bit of peril there.
It is, and it's a little bit on the complicated side.
Exactly. You're back to programming again, right?
Yeah, and making sure that
things
you
are
got
right.
to fail safe. They don't just both fail. So
right.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But
cool.
Well, that's exciting. We're excited that you're here at the Electric Festival. It's your first time?
First time at the Electric Festival, the second time here in Mesa, Arizona. I was just here a few months ago. People here are wonderful. Gorgeous place. I guess this is the actual field you see in real flight?
That is correct. Yep, it is.
It's as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than what you see on the computer screen.
Yeah, the computer screen is a little pixelated, but yeah, it looks way better in real life.
We'll have to talk to Shannon and find out what we do to newbies when they come here.
We go test fly their airplanes.
Oh,
usually.
okay, yeah, that's right.
I've been around the United States. This is probably one of the nicest fields as far as the runway and the scenery.
It's a great
amazing.
Setup. Yeah, really is.
They've done a really
what I
good
like
job.
about this place, the first thing that struck me was I got to see some jets fly when I first came here, which is 10 or 15 years ago. And when you look at that jet against the mountain, you don't know if that's a real jet or it's a pretend jet.
I know.
And it's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And it comes up, it's a scale model. It's like, wow, that is badass.
That was cool, yeah.
I like this field. I like there's OCMA in Orange County. When it rains this time of year, it looks like you're in another state. It's beautiful.
No
and then there's one, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, has a grass field. Unbelievable. There's a waiting list to become a member of that field. It's
crazy,
so sought after.
Yeah.
People drive 100 miles away just to go fly there.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Well, thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate
we
being here,
you.
guys.
We always love to have new people on the podcast, and we will definitely probably have you on. We got a YouTube channel as well. We need to get you on so we can actually see the
show
radio,
the product.
show the product.
That'd be great. We'd love to do that.
Yeah, we could do that. And
Ben and I can absolutely help you out with that. We can set up at our shop as well. We can YouTube in together.
Cool.
Fantastic.
We can do that. We'll get together. But all right, for right now, we're back to the flight line.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Park Flyer Podcast. It is Friday evening. The sun has just gone below the horizon. We got a couple of night flyers out that were flying some stuff. We've had a really good day. We flew a bunch.
Yeah.
No, you got
Flew
to
the L-39.
Yeah. How'd you like that?
I love flying that plane.
Yeah,
it's so smooth.
It is smooth, right?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. It
And,
scares me a little, but it's smooth.
You a little nervous flying it?
Usually. Yep. Because, you notice I just kind of did a circuit. I didn't really do, rolls and loops and
True.
not really. I think that my lack of confidence in landing the thing properly reaches into my other space.
Oh, that may be, but you didn't really have to worry about that this time.
No, but I still it still reaches into my
I can
my psyche.
I understand that. Well, we let's see. You got to fly it a couple times. I flew it once or twice,
Yep,
and
I
then
flew the pits.
you flew the pits
That's fun.
S1 pits and
Yeah,
the
that's
little
fun.
UMX.
Yeah.
Put a couple of batteries through that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I almost thought once there, I thought we were gonna have a collision between a B1 and a Pitts S1, but
No, I think I was paying attention to where they were coming through.
Oh,
He was
okay.
he was blowing through pretty fast,
yeah,
but
he was coming through
I was
fast.
trying to judge where they were, and then I would try to get out from under because they were
Ah,
coming
gotcha.
across the runway
Yeah, they
as
were
opposed to
coming
the
there.
dirt. So
Right,
as
that's
long as I
true.
was not on the runway, I felt like I was safe.
Yeah, no, you were good. You were good. Well, we had some really cool stuff going on today. The B1s were debuted for here at the Arizona Electric
Yeah.
Festival, and they guys went out there and flew the three of them. We did post something on our Facebook listeners group.
Oh, good.
So if you would like to see them flying, you could do all that stuff.
You might hear the engine in the background
Yeah,
right now.
they're running it, trying to get the basically the
The center light.
yeah, it's
center-
the afterburner lights.
Yeah.
Trying to get them to work. So he's trying to do that, and then they did do a B1 B2.
Yeah, that was cool
flyby.
actually.
I think I tried to run out there and get a little video of that, but I think tomorrow is going to be the big day when they're trying to get everything.
better shots at it.
Yeah, today was kind of like quick. I was sitting here and all of a sudden I was like, oh, they're going to fly it. I didn't realize they're going to fly it. So, we'll see. But it did calm down. We had some nice winds that kind of got,
5 to 8, I'd bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of picked up a little bit for the night fly, but
It's getting cooler.
it is getting colder. What else do we have going on today? We've got a couple guys, the Tony and his group over at Horizon Hobbies. They came in. They flew the T-28 Trojan.
That was fun to look at.
I got to fly that one,
Uh-huh.
and they let me demo the new yellow T-28, which is kind
What's
of
different about it other than yellow?
It's got lights.
Okay.
We were over there looking at the difference between the two, and basically the parts swap out. So the canopies fit the same, everything fits the same. It does have lights on it though, and I could not believe how slow that thing flew. It was funny. For those of you that know, I fly everything from little UMX to turbine jets, and anyway, they asked me if I'd like to demo it, and I said sure. And so AK Mike goes out to, hey, I wouldn't let Mike fly that thing because he hasn't flown slow in a long time. That was very funny. You're taking that risk of your own, and so to make matters worse, the battery strap for the center battery strap, it fell out.
Oh, no kidding?
Holes. Yeah. So we only had the front of the battery
only
strap.
one
Only
part
one
of it.
strap was holding it.
Uh-huh.
And so when they went out there, he goes, don't do any loops and rolls or nothing. I don't want that battery to fall out. So I did. I just did the circuits. I tried to see how slow I could fly. And it's very relaxing to me. I was, flying the L39, the A10. We got a couple flights on the A10 today. We did that, and it flew great. But, at the same time, these are, EDFs. They're fast movers. And this one was just super slow.
Yeah.
Super slow.
Yeah. Do you lose patience at all?
No. It's just kind of one of those where
Take
it
a deep
doesn't.
breath
You don't even take a deep breath. You just it's just relaxed. It's like sitting in a rocking chair, right? After running a marathon or running some sprints, and then you just kind of sit back and you're just kind of like, okay, I can do this. It's got retractable gear and flaps, huge flaps that come out. So I think really
I saw you
down.
flying it really, really slow.
Yeah,
And that was pretty cool.
Anyway, then I came in to land, and it was funny because Tony was standing behind me, and he goes, "That's way too fast for a landing."
That's
so,
funny.
so I was like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Well, you're a little fast for a landing." So I went around and came back and slowed it even more.
Uh-huh.
And I literally had it just hanging on the prop. And he goes, "Yeah, that's more like it." And so I touched down and didn't even get a full stripe down the runway. It came to a stop.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, you didn't use the reverse because it has reverse on it."
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was like, "Did I really need reverse? Did I?
No,
Really?"
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But it was a great airplane. I had a really good time. He flew the big OV10.
Yeah, that's
that
cool.
Jay and I got to fly last time Jay was here.
That's
last
very
year, I think.
cool.
They were out last year, him and Allie, and they let Jay and I take a turn on those, and that was a really nice, fun flying airplane. Couldn't believe how just stable it flew.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, well, it's a massive plane,
Yeah,
too.
it's really big. really big. So we got 2 of those here this year. Somebody just showed up with one late this afternoon. But the other amazing airplane that just showed up is a KLM 747.
Yeah, that's the same guy who has
Same
the other.
guy has the big airplane, and
Movie
we're gonna take some photos and
Yeah.
talk about that tomorrow.
That's
but
a pretty cool looking plane.
it was very cool.
I
Didn't
was
get to
hoping
see
he
it
would fly
fly.
today, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just getting late for him.
I think that he didn't want as much wind, and he was a little concerned it was going to kick back up again.
Was he?
Yeah,
All
I think that's
cool.
what it boils down to.
But yeah, we were able to kind of have Stephen on the podcast with FrSky. We're going to try and get him back on our video channel.
Okay.
So we'll talk to him again in the future. But
Yeah.
he kind of explained that they have all their radios here, and we're kind of give us a demo of them. Shannon has one, and he was able to fly. I didn't fly, but he went out there and kind of walked me through some of it. So
maybe we should hook it up to the pits.
Maybe, you never know. They could fly the little pits around with it. I don't know. We might be able.
I mean,
to.
I feel
those
like
are
you
quick
should,
bind.
Yeah. I was gonna say I feel like you should fly that.
Okay,
try that.
Well, we can maybe we can try it. Let's see who else. I think that was pretty much it. Had a lot of good vendors.
John was here, the guy that helped Jay and I, or let Jay and I fly the Cub.
Oh, that's right.
We talked to John a little bit.
Yeah.
That was good.
I wound up kind of moseying through the vendors and got a really cool tool set for
that's right.
a really, really good price.
Doing garage sale shopping.
I know, right? And I saw it there. It was one left, and I thought, wow, for that price, I'll take it. And it was a screwdriver set has long, really long screwdriver.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
And then a bunch of micro screwdrivers, so that worked out. And it's in a pretty nice case.
Yeah, I was gonna say the case seems like it's worth $15 all by itself.
Yeah, it was. So, well, it's one of those days. It turned into be a nice day. It got warm, so that was good news. And we got a lot of promotion. A lot of guys came around and chatted with us and passed out our business cards. Been good. It was a good
Happy day.
Yeah. Now it's getting a little chilly. I had to put my jacket back on.
Yeah, me too.
So I think we're going to try to wind up the day here. We'll be back bright and early in the morning and Saturday again, and try to cover the event at that point, and maybe do some more live streaming. So once again, check out our Facebook page at the Park Fire Podcast Listeners Group. I also put it on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Just the Park Fire Podcast page. Give us a comment, watch the video, let us know how we're doing. And I think with that, we'll call it a night.
All right, then.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.